Since then, to ensure peace of mind for Rosewise and her unborn child, Leon had to take meticulous care of both of them. At that moment, Rosewise was leisurely lying on the sofa. She said to Leon, "I'm thirsty." Leon immediately walked over with a cup of water and handed it to Rosewise. "Please, I'm hungry." Leon immediately returned with a plate of fruits and desserts. "I'm coming." "My legs." Leon sat down beside her and gently massaged her legs. Rosewise was very satisfied with Leon's massage techniques. She felt very happy seeing him follow her instructions so completely. After all, he had always resisted or argued with her in the past. She smiled at him and silently thought, "Thanks to the child in my belly, I can finally make him willingly obey me." Although Leon seemed slightly displeased with Rosewise's requests, he still obediently followed them. Rosewise lowered her head and looked at her belly. Although it had not bulged yet, she could feel a new life slowly growing inside her. At that moment, a question surfaced in her mind. She reached out, gently stroked her belly, and whispered softly, "I don't know who this little one will take after when he's born." Hearing what Rosewise said, Leon confidently pointed at himself. Wearing a smug expression, he said, "It must look more like me." Rosewise felt speechless at Leon's strange self-confidence. She looked at him with disdain and said, "Bah, Dragon Slayer, where did you get that confidence?" Leon closed his eyes, opened his arms, and replied calmly, "The confidence Noah and Muan gave me." In his imagination, Noah and Muan stood before him with happy expressions. On Rosewise's bedside table sat a photo frame. The photo inside was a family portrait taken in Sky City to help Noah smoothly enter school. Looking at the photo, Leon said confidently, "Their hair color is the same as mine, mainly black, right?" However, Rosewise was not convinced. "But they have tails, so of course they look more like me." Leon was clearly dissatisfied with her response. "Noah's original element is thunder, just like mine." "Well, you're right, but they still have tails." Hearing Rosewise repeatedly use tails to refute him, Leon couldn't think of a new argument. After all, Noah and Muan did inherit Dragon Clan genes and had tails. The human traits in them were not obvious, making it difficult for Leon to persuade her. He frowned slightly and looked at Rosewise, silently thinking that the tail was the clearest difference between humans and dragons. No matter what evidence he presented, he could not defeat her. Noticing Leon's silence, Rosewise felt extremely satisfied. She showed a hopeful expression and gently stroked her tail. At that moment, Leon turned to face her. He stared intently at her belly and remained silent, as if he had thought of something. Seeing his strange behavior, Rosewise felt puzzled. She asked, "What's wrong? Do you have anything else to refute?" Suddenly, Leon bent down and approached her belly. He reached out and gently caressed it, whispering to the child inside, "Baby, you can't have a tail after you're born. Did you hear that?" Hearing this, Rosewise became furious. She quickly pounced on him and struck his head repeatedly, stopping him from continuing. "What are you saying to the child in my belly?" Leon refused to back down. He grabbed Rosewise's cheek and cried out dramatically, "Ah, baby, look! Mom is hitting me! Don't learn from her!" After arguing for a while, Leon was finally forced to leave Rosewise's room. At that moment, he suddenly realized he still had something important to do. He rushed to the Silver Dragon Castle's library and searched through the shelves before bringing several books back to his room. Many colorful books were piled on his bed, such as Lolobun's Little Dragon Encyclopedia, Precautions During Pregnancy, and others. All of them were related to pregnancy. Leon carefully read a book titled Prenatal Tips, Give Your Little Dragon a Head Start, whispering to himself as he read. When Rosewise was raising her first child, Leon had still been unconscious. She had used Dragon Clan parenting methods throughout the entire process. That was why the child she gave birth to was more dragon-like. So how could he make the second child in Rosewise's belly more human-like? The question troubled Leon. Both Noah and Muan had strong dragon characteristics. If he wanted to win against Rosewise, he needed the child to show obvious human traits. Covering his face with the book, Leon seriously contemplated a solution. If the baby absorbed more human culture from now on, perhaps it would be more human after birth. On a personal level, this was a father's way of seeking recognition within his family. On a broader scale, it represented a crucial opportunity to prove that human genes were superior to those of the Dragon Clan. Just do it. Although Rosewise was less than 2 months pregnant, prenatal education had to start early. After making his decision, Leon closed the book and stood up quickly. To gain an ally on his side, he needed to act immediately. He could not miss any chance to win against Rosewise. Before heading to her room, Leon suddenly remembered something important. He crawled under his bed, searching through the clutter, while muttering to himself, "Where did I put the thing I bought in Sky City?" Found it. He pulled out a blue, gem-like object. It was a portable recording stone, compact, lightweight, and capable of recording sound. By then, it was already midnight. All the lights in Silver Dragon Castle were off, leaving the entire castle shrouded in darkness. From the outside, it seemed to have fallen into a deep sleep. Only a few cicadas chirped endlessly in the surrounding trees. The moon hung quietly in the night sky, watching over the castle. At that moment, a familiar figure appeared on the balcony of Rosewise's room. He silently jumped down and slipped inside. Rosewise was fast asleep, unaware of any movement. The one who secretly entered her room was Leon. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, he revealed a mischievous smile. In order to test whether Rosewise had truly fallen asleep, Leon slightly bent down and quietly approached her ear. He whispered softly, "Hey, Rosewise. Wake up. There's something urgent right now." After a while, Rosewise still lay there with her eyes closed, fast asleep. There was no reaction at all. She didn't seem to hear Leon speaking to her. Seeing that Rosewise showed no signs of waking up, Leon nodded gently. "Very good. A pregnant woman really does have good sleep quality. In that case, I don't have to worry about waking her." Leon quietly crouched beside Rosewise's bed, took out the portable recording stone from his pocket, gently pressed the button, and placed it next to her belly. At that moment, the portable recording stone began to play audio. Long, long ago, on the distant western continent, a wise and brave race was born. They called themselves humans. Originally, to allow the child in Rosewise's belly to absorb more human culture, Leon had recorded stories and human history in advance using the portable recording stone. Because it was portable and the volume could be adjusted, he didn't have to worry about Rosewise noticing it while she slept. He decided to subtly influence the unborn child in this way. Listening to the audio, Leon whispered to Rosewise's belly, "Baby, humans are the world's first race. You should look more like a human in the future." Time slowly passed, minute by minute. A few hours later, the moon above Silver Dragon Castle quietly set, and the sun slowly rose into the sky. The dark clouds gradually dissipated, revealing a bright blue sky. Sunlight softly streamed into Rosewise's room, gradually illuminating the entire space. The portable recording stone continued playing. Human beings are a great race, a brave race. They are resilient. They never give up. And they will always fight for a better tomorrow. Before long, the portable recording stone finished playing Leon's pre-recorded audio. Aside from occasionally turning over or murmuring in her sleep, Rosewise showed no sign of waking up throughout the night. She never heard the sound of the recording stone. She was still sleeping deeply. Seeing how peacefully Rosewise slept, Leon felt very satisfied. He hadn't expected his plan to go so smoothly. He gently retrieved the portable recording stone and silently thought, the recording quality of this stone is really good. I can record more books for the baby to listen to in the future. However, Leon had no intention of leaving Rosewise's room yet. After putting the recording stone back into his pocket, he placed one hand on his chest and waved the other dramatically, striking an exaggerated pose. He closed his eyes, stood beside Rosewise's bed, and began passionately reciting poetry. "Next, Dad will compose a poem for you. The name of this poem is The Greatness of Humanity, Beyond Words." Although Rosewise showed no reaction at all, the child in her belly seemed unable to tolerate Leon's performance. "Ah, humanity, you are so magnificent. The dazzling sun rises in the east, its light awakening resolute and courageous souls. Every wicked dragon king shall be vanquished by humankind. Ah, the greatness of humanity needs no words." As Leon passionately recited, sunlight gradually bathed the Silver Dragon Castle, as if it had been draped in gold and awakened from darkness. In the sky, the morning glow slowly soaked into the blue, as if someone had melted rouge into a clear lake. Nearby, early birds chirped clearly, reminding everyone in the castle that it was time to wake up. Rosewise had already risen early. As usual, she changed out of her pajamas, put on her usual clothes, and walked into the dining room for breakfast. However, her complexion looked poor, as if she hadn't slept well. She poked at the salad on her plate with a fork while gently rubbing her head. Hmm, last night I... She paused. Last night? What happened last night? Hearing her words, Leon began to feel nervous. He lightly shook the knife and fork in his hands and looked away to hide his unease, silently thinking. I climbed back over the balcony before she woke up. She shouldn't have noticed me, right? He worried that Rosewise might have realized he had been in her room the night before. Rosewise then spoke about the nightmare she had. I had a nightmare. I dreamed that I became a human, even praising the greatness of humanity. It was terrifying. She put down her fork and covered her mouth, feeling so disgusted by the dream that she almost wanted to throw up. Hearing this, Leon felt completely speechless. He hadn't expected his plan from the night before to have such an effect on Rosewise. Rosewise crossed her hands over her chest, closed her eyes, and prayed devoutly. Dragon God, please bless me. Watching her serious prayer, Leon silently thought, I don't know if prenatal education works on the child, but it's definitely effective on you. In that case, I'll keep it up and influence them as soon as possible. Leon quietly clenched his fist against his palm, secretly making up his mind. He was quite pleased with Rosewise's reaction. Since Rosewise reacted this way, it meant his plan had worked. As long as he continued, he believed the child in her belly would be influenced by human culture and grow up to be more like him. At that moment, Rosewise remembered that Leon was supposed to continue teaching Muan some magic today. She picked up her fork, shook it lightly, and asked, What are you planning to teach Muan today? Leon felt a little embarrassed and answered softly, Basic fire magic. Contrary to his expectations, Rosewise didn't get angry. Instead, she felt quite satisfied when she heard that he planned to teach Muan fire magic. She nodded lightly and said, All right, teach her how to control the morphological changes of the fire element. As for Dragon Flame, I'll teach her myself in a few days. Seeing that Rosewise wasn't upset, Leon let out a quiet sigh of relief. He stood up and waved goodbye. I know. I'll go find her first. You eat slowly. Rosewise nodded slightly, silently allowing him to leave first. Looking at the salad on her plate, Rosewise still had no appetite. After becoming pregnant, she often didn't feel like eating. After staring at it for a while, she let out a soft sigh. She said to the maid beside her, I don't want to eat anymore. You can take it away. The maid bowed politely and replied, Yes, Your Majesty. As she quietly cleared the table, Rosewise lowered her head and looked at her belly. She gently caressed it and said softly, Baby. Mom has to endure quite a lot for you. So, let's pass some of this hardship on to Dad. I believe he won't mind. At that moment, Leon was teaching Muan basic fire magic on the large lawn downstairs. Muan listened very attentively to Leon's explanation. Then she raised her hand and began casting fire magic. In no time, a small flame appeared in her palm. Seeing Muan successfully cast the spell, Leon smiled happily.